great Eric Trump.
Look at this.
There we go.
He's upstairs from me right now, Benny. This is crazy.
She's literally right under me.
Yeah, he put me down in the basement, but that's okay, honey.
Well, the manager of the hotel is like of the Trump Hotel Tower here in Chicago is also like right there. We just have a big family reunion here.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right.
Thank you, by the way, to both of you for allowing us to broadcast here from the Trump. It's incredible, and it gave us a firsthand, beautiful view of the people screaming and yelling and complaining and protesting all up and down Michigan Avenue yesterday. Total disunity here, but we're happy you haven't boarded the place up like many businesses have had to be boarded up in Chicago.
I mean, isn't it amazing? So you go back to Milwaukee, right? And it was just pure beauty. It was American flags everywhere. I mean, you were there. The love was incredible. No issues, no anything. I mean, the best of America, the best of American people, patriotic, believed in God, loved just everything that stands for the best of America, right? And there was not a single incident, no problems, no issues, no muggings, no riots, nothing. And then you look at this. I mean, the thing hasn't even kicked off, and you already see the problems that are starting. And it almost feels like it's actually just a comparison, a comparison contrast between two parties. One in total unity, and one that loves this country, and one that's in total chaos, and one that sometimes feels like it hates this country. And but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in Chicago this week. They're already projecting images on the side of our building. I'm not sure if you've seen that, honey. I heard
about that. Yeah,
they have projectors 3 blocks away, and they're using literally the building as a projector for I mean, it's just crazy.
Is that legal?
Are these the people you really want running our nation? I mean, they're just sick, twisted human beings.
Can I say something really quick about that image they just projected there, Benny? So they project the image Project 2025. Let me say this again for the umpteenth time to whoever it is needs to hear it out there. Donald Trump has said, the RNC has said, and the campaign has said, Project 2025 has nothing to do with Donald Trump, his platform, or what he wants to do for the future of this country. What you're seeing there is called a flat out lie. I don't even call it gaslighting anymore. These are people, Benny, who know they cannot win on the issues. Why? Because Kamala Harris is the vice president right now. She's in office right now. She brought you the bad economy we have right now. She brought you the open borders we have right now, the 2 wars overseas right now. All of the things that are going wrong in this country are a result of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's policies in place. And they cannot run on those policies because not a single American wants their lives to continue in a downward trajectory for the next 4 years. So what do? They got to lie. And that is one of the lies that they continue to tell every time those two get on a stage, every time Kamala Harris does her teleprompter speech, time and time again, the same thing over and over again. They talk about Project 2025. These are people who cannot tell you a single policy other than the communist policy Kamala Harris rolled out last week. She doesn't even know it's price gouging. She said price gauging because obviously that was printed in the teleprompter for her. And she's just like a wind-up toy, like you said. Just pull the cord. She'll say whatever it is you need her to say. They're going to lie the next 4 days. So I want the American people to prepare themselves for the lies they're going to hear. And then on the other side of that, they're going to actually have to explain how they're going to do these crazy things. It's almost like she's running for class president of her high school. We have Fridays off. Every Friday, I'm going to get off. You can't do the things that she tried to propose in that economic speech last week because they just don't work. It's communist in nature. So get ready for the lies. Project 2025 is one of them. I get so sick of hearing this. I'm sorry. I said my piece. That's all. I can't stand it. That's all they do is lie.
Hey, Benny, can you go back to a picture of that building?
Please.
The beautiful Trump building. Look at that. Great job, honey.
So let me break this down because I spent a long time building that building. Here's the difference between Republicans and the Democratic Party you have, right? This is Donald Trump. It is one of the most beautiful buildings you've ever seen. It's 2.6 million gross square feet in the heart of Chicago. Best location right on the Chicago River, overlooking Lake Michigan. We as a family spent almost 10 years between zoning, entitlements, financing, building that project, getting it up, getting it stabilized. It's one best hotel in the country. It's done everything else. That's what America should be about right there, right? Unbelievable structures where people put their life and their vision and their dreams and their blood, sweat, and tears into creating something that's material and tangible and something that redefines skylines. What has Kamala Harris ever done? She's never signed.
Is there anywhere higher we can go?
She's been in government her entire adult life, right? She hasn't built a damn thing. What has she contributed to? How many people has she employed? That building has employed hundreds of thousands of people between construction, all the operations since the time that it was. I mean, it literally has propped it up an entire community. And isn't that what you want from somebody who's ultimately going to be running, the largest country, largest economy in the world by far, somebody who understands that, right? Versus, again, somebody who's literally been in government their entire adult life, as she has been, as Joe Biden has been. I mean, they have no practical knowledge. They have no real world knowledge, right? It's why all their other policies are absolutely backward. It's why all their policies are killing the economy in this country. But I just hope everybody can see the difference between somebody who spent their life in government versus a family who's really redefined skylines in this nation and has created just tens and tens and tens of thousands of jobs and has contributed so much to so many great places. It's the difference between two political parties.
Yeah, exactly what would you project on if you wish to project Kami Kamala onto something? What has she built? Like, let's say you wanted to do that. Like, what exactly would you set? Would you project the national debt
onto
the open border? Like, I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know, Benny. I'll tell you, we have property in San Francisco, and we've seen the total degradation of that city over the last 10 years. It's horrible. San Francisco went to one of the most iconic cities anywhere in the world, and one of the most beautiful, iconic cities anywhere in the world. You can't walk anywhere without getting mugged, stepping over hypodermic needles. The drug problem there is incredible. Every bank has moved out of the city. It's the most expensive city, in the country and on earth. You can't live there. God bless trying to be an unbelievable teacher or something and trying to live in San Francisco. You can't do it, right? You don't make enough to live. But every company, every bank, everybody's left San Francisco. I mean, Elon Musk is the last person, but just I don't want to start naming, banks because, some of these guys are our friends, but every single one, they've fled from that city because it's not worth it. A, people can't afford to live there. B, people don't want to deal with the crime. C, people don't want to deal with the drugs. D, people don't want to deal with the rest of the nonsense that's there. And so you look at two people, you look at Kamala Harris, who's been in California, who has absolutely crushed the state. You've had more people flee from California than any state. It's the largest migration out of a state in the history of this country by far. And then look at Minnesota, where you literally have Tim Walz, who's literally, his claim to fame is putting tampons in boys' bathrooms. I mean,
starting in 4th grade. Who wouldn't want that?
We've got a real hole in the roof of our country. And I say this a lot, where you've got a country that's unaffordable now. People can't afford to live. Everything's more expensive. Gas is 3 times the price. I mean, imagine being a 25-year-old kid who falls in love. Laura and I, a long time ago, honey, not to age you, but you fall in love. You want to go buy your first home. That first home is twice as expensive because of inflation caused by Kamala and Joe, right? And aside from being twice as expensive, now all of a sudden you have 7-8% mortgage rates. So you certainly can't buy. You have no chance in the world. And it's so sad, but our country has gone so backward and we need to fix it. And it's hard to believe. I mean, it's hard to believe that they have any traction because everybody knows what our country was looking like 4 years ago. And everybody knows exactly what it looks like today. And there's not a single person watching us right now, not a single person who thinks that this country is affordable. Not a single person who's seen upward, wage mobility. It doesn't exist in this country right now. In fact, it's the exact opposite. All while we hand hundreds of billions of dollars to countries who hate our guts around the world. It's infuriating.
So this is something that we actually went out in the streets, and we're producing this right now. But we stood right in the middle of Grant Park, and we just asked people, right where Barack Obama had his acceptance speech. We just asked people like Trump or Kamala Harris, and 9 out of 10 said Trump, and it's remarkable. Right downtown Chicago. It's incredible. We have a photo right here from one of your residents here who will remain unnamed, who walked up to me this morning and gave me this photo of the protests last night and him protesting the protests from inside of the building. There you go. This is from, he has the fight image up, and those are the protesters, and this is from inside a Trump Tower. I think people are just done with this garbage. We found out at the DNC, actually, that they built a wall. It's amazing. We went to the DNC, and there's a wall, not just a wall, it had barbed wire. And
they did that around the Capitol, too, Benny. They can do it when it works out for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, remember, guys, one thing, the wall was built, right? I mean, all of it, my father built 600 miles of it, but
they took some of it down.
The wall was built, and they literally had all
Yeah.
the steel. All they had to do is stand the steel up and put it in. And you know what they did? They sold it for scrap metal. They sold it for scrap metal. You know, I was just over in the UK, and I want to put it in comparison. In the last 3.5 years, two Scotlands have moved into the United States. Roughly 13 million people have come across the southern border. Two Scotlands have immigrated to the U.S., and now all of a sudden you have Kamala going out saying, yes, we need to give free health care to all. So, you know, you show up in New York City where every single hotel in New York City is full of illegal immigrants while we have veterans sleeping under bridges in this country. You know, veterans aren't being taken care of from a healthcare standpoint, but yet all illegal immigrants are going to now get free healthcare. I mean, at what point do we start cheerleading for our own country? At what point do we start putting America first? And they're incapable of it. They're incapable of it.
So really quickly, Eric, I just have to get your thoughts on this very popular item here at the DNC. We were shocked to find one unifying element here at the DNC, which is all DNC men are really excited about the moving vasectomy bus. From Planned Parenthood. Apparently you get onto this dodgy bus with the blacked out windows and it drives down the bumpy roads here and guys get vasectomies like crazy. Going like hotcakes. Just your thoughts on that.
Oh, geez. It's actually probably the one policy that I don't mind, right? You want to give vasectomies to people who otherwise... Listen, guys, we got to get serious about this nation. I mean, it's heartbreaking. We've spent the last 18 months debating whether or not a 6'5" female should be able to swim in women's sports. You know, I'm sorry, a 6'5" male should be able to swim in women's sports. I mean, we've got real fundamental problems in our nation. I mean, we had 300,000 kids that died of fentanyl poisoning this year, right? 300,000 kids die of fentanyl. Literally, I said to Lara the other day, I go, you know, we should start keeping Narcan in the house. Just like, God forbid, our kid picks up a dollar bill or something along those lines.
They're 5 and 6 years old, but that's not a joke. And a lot of parents think about that. It's terrifying. Go ahead, honey.
100,000 kids that have died of right, and they don't do a damn thing about it. They laugh about it. They're nowhere to be found, right? We've had 13 million people come into the country while we've got real problems. We have schools. Our school system's rated 30th in the world. Think about it. We should be first. For the United States of America, we should be first in the world. Like, you know, our economy sucks. Everything's way too expensive. Prices have skyrocketed. Upward mobility of people has got shot. Our manufacturers leaving this country again. John Deere just announced that they're closing down two massive, John Deere, a great American company, they're closing down two massive plants. We do a lot of business with them on the Gulf side, and they're bringing them to Mexico. So all of a sudden, you've got a dollar that's so strong, which isn't a good thing, by the way, that people don't want to come over here in terms of tourism. You've got a dollar that's so strong that no one wants to buy our products. It's killing our manufacturing. I mean, I could go on and on and on. The only thing we seem to want to do is create weapons to send to foreign countries so they can shoot them at one another and just have millions of people die. And this is literally what the Democrats are doing. They're giving free vasectomies to people on buses in Chicago. I mean, can we please get serious about the world and our standing in the world? I mean, China, incredibly smart. They're coming after us. They want to be the language. They want to be the currency. They want to be the superpower of the world. And we're debating which bathroom people should be using, which locker room people should be using. I mean, these are the conversations we're having. Why don't we start focusing on priorities? I mean, start at number one, the economy, prices. You know, people being able to live the American dream, the nuclear family, the education of our youth. You know, the fact that we want to stay the superpower in perpetuity, and we can because we're better at all these things. But you got to stop choking people. You got to stop restraining kind of, you know, that American, you know, passion and will to innovate and work. We can do it so much better. But I mean, all we want to do is regulate. All we want to do is tax. All we want to do is make people's lives hell. You know, and government, it's got to get serious. And they're not serious people. I mean, they're just not serious people. And it's, I truly pray to God that we're able to save our country in November. I mean, I don't think our country can stand much more of this. I really believe that. I don't think anybody would have ever guessed that you could have had as much degradation in society as we've had in the last 4-year period of time. I would have never told you that government was that powerful, that you could have seen a country kind of dissolve the way the United States has over a 4-year period of time based on, you know, an administration's incompetence. And, but I think what's most frustrating, I'm sorry, I'm ranting for a second. What's most frustrating to me is then you see Kamala come out and say, you know, on day one, my priority is going to be pricing. It's like, I know the White House as well as any person in the world. So does Lara. So does the entire family. Your office is 14 feet away from Joe Biden's office, who everybody realized hasn't been running the country in all fairness over the last 4-year period of time. And you haven't done a damn thing. You haven't done a damn thing about that. we're going to get tough about immigration. We'd like to be tough about immigration. It's like, you picked a running mate who said that if Donald Trump builds a 25-foot tall wall, you're going to build a ladder factory in Mexico to build 30-foot ladders. Right now, all of a sudden, yes, I'd like to get. They're so full of crap, and I just it pains me to say that, because this is literally this is our family. This is those two beautiful kids you just showed on your show. I mean, this is the future. This isn't going to affect Lara and I, but this is going to be damning for the future of this nation. And I truly hope people can see through what's happening out there.
So, since you name dropped, here we are. This beautiful photo of you guys on I think a Trump boat parade yesterday.
That was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hundreds of boats in Florida. Look at that.
Look at that. Okay. So maybe you're both very positive people, and the RNC convention that you both put on was very positive in its vision for the country. Whereas here it's like doomer and chaos, and it's yelling and angry and protests. And people that are actually really miserable. And it's frankly, self-loathing is really quite the cornerstone of the ideology here.
Well, Benny, on TV right now, right over my shoulder, I just have to interrupt.
Please.
They're literally sending the National Guard into Chicago as we speak. I mean,
wow, really?
Did 250 National Guardsmen now in Chicago? Like, did they have to send the National Guard into Milwaukee?
The National Guard probably wanted to come to Milwaukee to shake Trump's hand. Yeah.
This epitomizes who the Democratic Party is. I mean,
so does that mobile vasectomy bus that they have. This is, by the way, Benny, that's what they're running on. It's abortion. Like, that's the number one issue for these Democrats. And it's such a contrast to the positivity to Donald Trump and JD Vance, who say, we want more babies in this world. We want more families in this country, not less. And don't let anybody tell you that Donald Trump doesn't believe in IVF. He himself has said that he has seen so many beautiful babies and miracles happen for people because of IVF. And he has no intention of ever touching that. It's a ridiculous talking point on the Democrats, but that's the difference between the parties. And that's why these people are self-loathing. And that's why they're miserable and cranky and just depressed and sad and ranting and raving and rioting. And it's the complete 180-degree change from what you saw at our convention, at the Republican National Convention a month ago. Couldn't be more different. Couldn't be more starker contrast between those two parties and the vision for the future of the country that they each have. And I know which one I am voting for. I know which one a lot of America wants to see happen again. They want their lives back. They want their families back. They want their upward trajectory again. They don't want to buy what the Democrats are selling with this ridiculous mobile abortions and vasectomies. Are you kidding me? It's absurd. It's totally ridiculous.
It is. Eric, just our production team is here with the breaking news to sort of back up what you just said. Yes, the Illinois National Guard has been deployed to Chicago. Here's video of them actually deploying to Chicago. I'm not sure if anybody's here in the building, but yeah, the National Guard is now deployed. So I want to give you guys an opportunity to close on a positive message. You were at a Trump boat parade yesterday. It looks like you had a beautiful time, and the enthusiasm, I've never seen anything like it. We all live in the beautiful state of Florida, but what was it like yesterday? Maybe you could close on this and give us an upbeat, optimistic sort of view for what's going to happen in November.
Well, listen, I'll give you maybe a little analogy. A bad day yesterday would have been trying to go, upstream of that boat parade, because it was thousands of boats, and it was beautiful. And they all, you can see the picture, right? And it's as far as the eye could see. It literally, we parked at the very end. It ended at this island called Peanut Island. We parked there, and for an hour and a half, the boats were still coming down. And these were 5 wide. And they had kids, little beautiful kids like that on the boat. And it was really celebrating the best of what America is and what America could be.
Did they recognize you? Did they see you and they're like, oh my God, it's Eric?
They did. Some of them did recognize us. Yeah, it was really fun whenever they were like, wait a minute, that's so Eric Trump. That's Lara Trump. It was crazy.
Oh, it's hard because every single boat, every single person was wearing those red hats. And, there were more MAGA hats there. But listen, I guess on a closing, what do we want? Our family, Benny's the last family that needs to be doing this stuff, right? We could be a private industry doing great, right? We have a great family. Politics gets us absolutely nothing. It gets us actually much less than nothing. They put us through hell for the last 10 years. All we want is to see this country successful, and prosperous. And, all I want personally is a good future for those two incredible kids there, and for other incredible kids in this country. We don't have a cheerleader anymore. We don't have people who understand a damn thing about how to run. They can't run anything. I mean, these people just can't run anything. They're incapable of running anything. They're incapable of cheerleading for a nation. They're incapable of fixing problems. All they do is create problems, and our country's going in a really bad direction. And so the easiest thing we could have done was say, you know what, we're going to get the hell out of politics. We're fine. It's been great. We've done something really incredible. We created a great movement. My father did a great job when he was in office. And you know what? Let's go back to, living a nice, peaceful, good life. And yet every single day, despite the fact that he's taking bullets through his ears, despite the fact that, they'll slander him in any way, shape, or form, despite the fact that they keep him locked up in every courthouse in the country, trying to imprison him, trying to, bankrupt him, he wants to keep fighting because he loves this nation. And I have to say, if you put a 1,000 billionaires out there, no one else would tolerate 1/1000th of what Donald Trump has tolerated. And he's the greatest fighter of our generation. He's the greatest fighter I've ever seen. He's tolerated more nonsense than ever before. But I truly believe that we're going to get vindicated. And I truly believe that we're going to fix this country, and we're going to bring America's prosperity back. And we're going to fix all the problems that everybody's living with right now. And that we're going to keep America, and those beautiful flags in that clip that you're showing. We're going to keep this the number one superpower on the face of this earth. And we love America. We love our Constitution. We love religion. We love everything that our country stands for. And as a family, we'll never stop fighting for it. And so I hope everybody else, I know you have a lot of fighters that watch the show, but just make your voices heard and get out there and vote, and make sure you watch, and make sure that there's no funny business at the polls. And let's take back our nation, and let's keep this country incredible, and be able to hand something that we're very proud of down to our kids. And so we are going to win, Benny. We're going to win on November 5th, and we're going to turn this country back around. We're going to make it very proud, and we're going to make America great again.
What a profound message, because it's like that's the best motivation ever, which is to hand the generation a better country, the next generation a better country.
Why else are we here?
It's like, otherwise you just like live a nihilist, meaningless existence. Like you want to make a better country, right? Like it's so true. Laura, the last word for you, please.
I mean, I can't say much better than Eric said it, but look, I think that there's so many of us who believe that Donald Trump is still here today, and his life was spared on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Because God has bigger plans for him. God is not done with him. I don't think anyone saw that and could say miracles don't happen and that God doesn't exist and perform those miracles whenever needed. That was a miracle. And it was by the grace of God that Donald Trump is still here. And look, there are going to be peaks and valleys over the course of the next 78 days, right? This is never going to be just a straight line across. We are going to do everything we need to do to make sure that Donald Trump wins on election day. And I say all the time, we got to shut this one down early, Benny, because we're not sleeping a lot. We're working around the clock. I got to go to bed early on November 5th. I'd like to shut this down and know that Donald Trump will be the 47th president. I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So that's how we need to do it. We need everybody out. We need everybody focused. We need everybody voting, participating. ProtectTheVote.com. TrumpForce47.com. Those are the two websites. Please go check them out. Please come be on the team with us. We need every single person who loves this country to do it. And let's shut this one down early. I can't do another 3 a.m. It's going to be enough by November 5th. Let's do it early.
My team is sending me an Eric Trump tweet saying the largest boat parade in history planned Sunday, October 13th in Jupiter, Florida. If you're around Jupiter, Florida, just free promotion here, Eric. This is going to be the one.
We have people coming from the Carolinas. We have people coming from the west side of Florida. I mean, shout out to your audience right now. If you want to be involved in something, I promise you, yesterday was fun. Yesterday was a warm-up. We only had a couple thousand boats. When I say only a couple, we only had about 2 hours on the Intercoastal full of boats, but October 13th is going to be special. So if you know anybody with a boat, I don't care if you're from Maine, make the trip. Get the boat down here. I'm telling you, you're going to be part of something that is incredibly beautiful. I think it's going to be the largest boat parade we've ever had, and they are so much fun with the greatest people you'll ever meet. And come join us. Laura and I will be there. The kids will be there. All of us will be there. We're going to have an awesome time. So come join the parade.
My producers are over here fist pumping, and our video
Mm-hmm.
team is fist pumping as well because they want to fly a drone and cover. all
Oh,
of
that's
this.
so cool.
We'll bring our drone.
Nice.
And we'll bring our drone and document this historic event. Largest boat parade ever. Sunday, October 13th in Jupiter, Florida at the Lighthouse. All right. We just want to say thank you. We deeply, deeply appreciate your family building this gorgeous, beautiful building. That is a fortress. That is our Benny bunker here at the DNC, keeping us safe. And obviously being sort of an icon to look up to. And we continue the march to November. Godspeed, Laura.
Tell the team I said hi, Benny, all right?
Thank you, Benny.
We will.
If you have any late night requests, let me know. I'm in
Yes.
I'm in the service industry, all right? So
That's right. Security. That's right. Security. Thank you. God bless you both.